So apparently it's illegal for a security guard to stop someone who is shoplifting in California, but it is okay for people to shoplift. Now take a look at these videos. These stores have to lock up all their products because of what's happening.
Walgreens should be charged with first-degree corporate abandonment. Yes. It should be a crime the way they're treating our elders. Yes. It should be a crime the way they're treating our families.
So this here is essentially a member of the city council in Chicago. From the research I've done, he's a Democrat. And this right here is why Black people struggle, or one of the key reasons. Let's think about this. Let's just break this down thinking about incentive structures. When businesses open new locations, what do they open these locations with in mind? Making more money, that business being profitable, expanding profitable operations. If that business is doing well and making money, they're going to keep it open. This Walgreens is closing due to so much crime and shoplifting that it's no longer safe or profitable for them to operate in that area. And when Walgreens was being robbed blind, he wasn't out here talking about this. And if he was, he did not have this level of energy calling out the theft that was destroying and harming that business. But again, this is why Black people struggle, because 80 to 90% of us vote for people like this. And we believe this is the way to do things and be successful. So when the business is being robbed blind, we're going to be quiet. But then the moment the business decides, you know what, this is no longer profitable, we're being robbed blind, our employees aren't safe, we need to close down. Now he has a problem with the business. We're not entitled to a business's product or service. It's so entitled to watch him get up here and say this. That business doesn't owe you anything. But again, I want to harp on this because this is one of the reasons why Black people struggle, because we will sit there and watch local businesses in our own communities get robbed blind, get destroyed, and we will say essentially nothing. Oh, that sucks. But then let that business protect its own interest and its own people. And now the business is a problem. It's racist. It's this. It's harming our elderly people. Let's look a little past what's right in front of our nose. Let's understand that businesses are there to make money. And if they're not making money, they're likely going to close down. So then let's try to work to make sure that business is not losing money to a bunch of theft in that community. It's fairly simple stuff that a bunch of us just ignore. But again, rather than calling out that crime and working hard to fight against it, and even going out into public and talking like this against the crime that's harming these businesses, no. We're going to wait for the business to shut down due to being robbed blind, and then we're going to go out there and we're going to demonize the business. Again, this is one of the reasons why Black Americans struggle. We elect people with no critical thinking skills like this that will lead us off of a cliff. It's stupid. He should be working to make it profitable for businesses to open up in this area, not demonizing businesses for closing after they've been robbed blind.
This next story has a lot of people talking. Alderman Will Hall is demanding answers tonight after Walgreens announced it's closing its Chatham store. In a statement, Hall says the store provides critical access to prescriptions, basic health care, and everyday necessities, especially for seniors and families. The alderman is calling on the company to explain this decision, and he's here to tell us what he's heard so far.
However,
yes,
Walgreens does not owe the people of Chatham an explanation why they're closing that store. Everyone knows why they're closing that store. The same reason Chatham, the Walgreens in Chatham is closing today is the same reason why the Target closed a year ago, is the same reason why the CVS closed 2 years before that, is the same reason why the Walmart closed, is the same reason why they don't have grocery stores and they're always complaining about pharmacy deserts and grocery deserts, is because these stores get robbed blind. They're no longer profitable. They're not safe. They can't keep their employees safe. Their liability is too high and they have too much exposure. So they close the store because it's not profitable.
Exactly. Walgreens, listen, I was a patrolman in the 6th District where that Walgreens is located for 10 years, and then I came returned as the district commander. And I can tell you this, I would meet with those business owners all the time. And the amount of theft that they incurred, at some point, if you're a business CEO, if you can't keep your employees safe and the theft is just outnumbering the profit margin, you're going to close that facility. It's just as simple as that. And to your point, no, they don't owe the community an explanation, because this is for them is dollars and cents, and they're just losing too much money, because of the theft issue to make the company profitable.
When I hear people push back on that, and I ask them, how many times would you go buy a $1,000 television and somebody breaks in your house and steals it before you would say, you know what, I need to move?
Enduring 2 kidney transplants and diabetes, Terrell Gardner takes about 14 pills a day to keep his immune system suppressed. The 69-year-old says the closure of his closest Walgreens will force him to drive several miles away to get his medicine.
Now I've got to find another way. I've got to possibly go west to Cicero. And I'm living all the way here on the east side.
Patricia Shell doesn't have an option for another Walgreens. She uses an electric wheelchair for her once-a-month pickup for prescriptions. Shell does not drive.
This is convenient for me. I just live down the street here in the senior building. And I don't know what we're going to do. I guess I have to go strictly with my mail order people.
The Walgreens location at 86th and South Cottage Grove is the latest to announce closure. An East 71st location is slated to close May 19th. 4 other South Side locations have shut down in the past year.
I got to go to 87 in Stony Island. I mean, how do you close down all the Walgreens in this community?
Chanting "Do Right by Us," 3 Southside aldermen led the way inside the store to protest the June 4th closing of the Chatham location today. Alderman Will Hall is calling on the Chicago area-based company to at least keep the pharmacy open. Otherwise, he says, the South Side faces a pharmaceutical drought.
Walgreens can do a sustainable innovation redesign. They did it on 12th and State Street. We're asking for the same effort on 86th Street.
Hall says he has not received a response from Walgreens. In a written statement, the
Alderman, get your nappy head over here real quick. Let me talk to you for a minute. Instead of you crying about Walgreens, how about you tell these young nut jobs to not go into Walgreens and steal? They're not closing it because they don't like black people. They're closing because y'all know how to act. Violence and thuggery is why they're closing these stores. That's what you should be focused on. I don't understand how we don't get it. You keep blaming everybody else. You should be sitting there protesting the thuggery that's going on. And to be honest, let's put it together. Like, why don't y'all come together to buy a Walgreens? I'm pretty sure you can own a franchise Walgreens. And when Walgreens closed down, why don't y'all start your own pharmacy? Everybody in the community get together. There's probably hundreds of thousands of people living in these areas. Come together, put your money together, and have your own grocery store pharmacy. Y'all want the white man to do everything. Here you go. Roll it.
company says over time, the location has experienced, quote, significantly higher levels of theft and violent incidents. It goes on to say, quote, despite a range of efforts, including previous operating adjustments, these ongoing safety challenges have made it increasingly difficult to maintain a secure environment for our team members and customers. Renice Mays manages Lay Club Boutique, a 38-year-old woman's apparel store across the street. And while there have been no problems at her store, May says she sees police at the Walgreens often.
Walgreens is a different world. We see the people come out with things. Even if you go over there, you can see people just taking things out the store.
Exactly. Like, when is the accountability going to kick in? That's all I'm saying. That's the only reason I made this video. I just want to keep it in the forefront. Quit blaming everybody else and start focusing on your community. This is why wealthy black people or black people that get a level of money to move, they move out. And then you're mad when the white people move out and they don't want nothing to do with you. I really want to see a day, which I think it's too late, to be honest. I think that it's just too late. But it's always a chance. I would like to see black people come together and start doing the right thing if you believe that you deserve the right thing. The boutique lady right there, how about some of y'all come together and buy that property? And it's not that hard, to be honest. Y'all can get a franchise and put it there. But the problem is the young thugs gonna come and steal from you, even as black people. Get it together.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Truth Verdict, where we examine today most talk about story through facts, context, and thoughtful discussion. Before we begin, full credit go to the original creator and the stitches video used in this documentary.
So Walgreens says that theft and violence, unfortunately, has made it too hard for them to keep their stores open in certain neighborhoods, and it can't keep their employees safe or their customers. So up in Chicago in particular, they decided to close.
On the South Side, people showed up to push back against a Walgreens closing. The doors are set to close next month. Walgreens says it's due to safety issues, but it will leave thousands without nearby access to life-saving medication. Tia Ewing has more.
Everybody say Walgreens do right by us.
Walgreens do right by us. Say what now? Walgreens do right by us? Who are you talking to, your baby mama? Sir, you sound crazy. Walgreens is a corporation. Y'all are not in a relationship. Look at how these melanated minded socialistic Negroes think. I'm sorry. I know that's offensive and y'all don't like when I say it, but the truth has to be told. He has rallied these people here for the sympathy, because of course you got to have the people in the wheelchair with their medicine in hand, as if this is supposed to pull on the heartstrings of a corporation that does not exist for your charitable reasons, right? The business exists to provide products and services and a way to get paid, and they've been doing so in this community for decades, but now it has gotten to the point where they're unable to do so profitably. You want to stage a press conference, talk about a Walgreens do right by us, as if you are making an appeal to a baby mama who is under an obligation to do right by you because y'all got kids together. Why do you believe that this is how it works in economics? Y'all are going to believe me and listen to me when I tell you. The civil rights movement, all they did was usher the Black community straight into the hands of the Democratic Party and create dependent. We are now the dependent class, to where we look at a business that's making a business decision that says, based on the conditions that you created in your own community, we can no longer serve you in good faith and in good conscience. Sorry for you. We out. And instead of you looking within saying, what is it that we are doing to create the conditions that allow crime to thrive, you stage a whole press conference to appeal to Walgreens and ask them to do right by you. Well, how's that working out? Because it's closing June 4th. Like, it's over.
Just close a store, it will take away a critical lifeline.
We're not here to beg Walgreens to stay. We are saying that their decision is the wrong decision. And in my opinion, it should be considered a first-degree corporate crime.
How have you determined that the decision that Walgreens is making based on their internal reporting, how are you saying that it's the wrong decision? Have you looked at their loss prevention numbers? Have you looked at the profit and loss statements, their inventory reports? Have you looked at any?
You know, imagine being a part of a political party that advocates for the defunding of police. And then when you have a business or corporation that just decides enough is enough, they're tired of being robbed, they just pull out. And you're upset about it. You're upset about it, and you make it into a race issue. And this is what's going on in Chicago. You have a councilman who is speaking the same race narrative, that someone is discriminating against its people and discriminating against the elderly, but not talking about the criminals that have been robbing the business being Walgreens, blind for years. So much so that they can't even pay their bills because they're going broke for losing inventory. Can you imagine that? Maybe this councilman should look within and see that it's not Walgreens that is the problem. It is the criminals within that community that is the problem. But that goes against the narrative, right? Because, of course, Democrats got to always push a victim narrative. So they're always the victim, right? Never mind the real victim, which is the business that is trying to offer a service to the people. But the people who are actually victimizing the business are able to go free and do it to another business. And then when they don't have anything, they're complaining.
Today's topic examines a controversial debate surrounding retail theft. Walgreens store closure, community accountability, and public conversation that follow. This is a subject that involves strong opinion, so our goal is not to inflame emotion, but to encourage thoughtful discussion based on evidence and responsibility. A growing debate has emerged in Chicago after Walgreens closed some locations following years of financial challenges, including challenges about organized retail theft, shoplifting, operating costs, and safety of employees. Some local leaders and committee members have argued that this closure disappropriates if affects neighborhoods that already have limited access to pharmacies, groceries, and healthcare services. They say elderly residents, families without transportation, and low-income communities often suffer the most when stores close. Others argues that focus only on closures misses an important part of the story. They point to repeated incidents of theft, robbery, and vandalizing, and employee safety concerns as reason businesses struggle to retain profitable. Their view is that no company can continue operating indefinitely if losses continue to mount and workers do not feel safe. This disagreement has become more than just a business issue. It has become a debate about responsibility, public safety, economic investment, and community leadership. Look at both perspectives. One side argues that corporation has a responsibility to continue serving community and should not abandon neighborhoods simply because they become difficult to operate in. Other side argue that businesses cannot survive if crime become routine. When stores repeatedly lose merchandise, spending more on security, and struggle to protect employees, they may decide that remaining opening is no longer financially sustainable. For many observers, the larger question is whether the discussion should focus only on the company or also on the condition that made operating the business incredibly difficult. Cost of crime, retail theft is often described as victimless crime. However, many business ownership disagree. When inventory disappears, stores lose revenue. Insurance costs can rise. Security expenses increase. Employees may feel unsafe to come to work. Eventually, company may reduce operating hours, cut staff, or close location entirely. When that happens, the people who depend on this store, including law-abiding residents, can lose confidence access to essential goods and pharmacy services. In many cases, the greater impact is felt by the very community the business once served. Community accountability. Another part of this conversation focus on accountability. Many community leaders across America have argued that reducing crime requires more than politicizing alone. Parents, schools, faith leaders, mentors, neighbors, and local organizations all play important role in teaching young people respect for others, personal responsibility, and the consequence of criminal behaviors. Holding people accountable for theft while also creating opportunity for education, employment, and positive mentorship are not opposing ideas. Many believe both approaches are necessary for stronger community. At the same time, it is important to avoid blame on entirely racist or ethnic community for the actions of individuals. Crime is committed by people, not by races. And many residents is affected neighborhoods are themselves victims of thefts and store closure. The challenge faced many cities is finding solutions that balance public safety with economic opportunity. Possible approach include stronger enforcement against organized retail theft, community programs that discourage youth crime, partnership with businesses and neighborhood organizations, better investment in education, employment, and local economic development, encouraging residents to support business that continue investing in their community. Ultimately, businesses need customers, communities need businesses, and both depend on safety and mutual trust. This conversation is about more than Walgreens. It raised larger questions about crime, accountability, economic investment, and how community can create environments where families, workers, and businesses all have opportunity to succeed. Reducing crime, supporting local businesses, and strengthening community are goals that benefit everyone. What do you believe is the best way to reduce retail theft while ensuring community continue to have access to essential businesses? Share your thoughts respectively in the comments. If you find this documentary informative, please like, share, and subscribe to Truth Verdict. Your support helps us continue producing thoughtful commentary that explores important issues from multiple perspectives. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next episode of Truth Verdict. Bye.